Yo, we in the game. Peace to the divine infinite consciousness, peace to the divine infinite self in all realms of reality. The supreme self, I am. The wow. So, yeah, anyhow, gotta jump right into it, man, because you see the title. The title is talking about this narcissistic supply. And I know you've been hearing the word narcissist being thrown around. So now it's time to add on to game with this psychological, spiritual aspect of it, so we can see it from a S or spiritual point of view. You know, niggas being America's #1 narcissistic supply, meaning that you wonder what a narcissistic supply is. It's someone who validates a narcissist. A narcissist is very much so empty within their own being. And so a narcissist needs someone else or something to validate it. Niggas, this will happen to be the biggest validation of America that America has. Nothing else validates America more than niggas. Hold on. Alright, so we're back in the game. Being the #1 narcissistic supply. So now we're starting to figure out and starting to find out a lot more. Some a little bit ahead of others, but we're finding out more. Like, yo, man, niggas are the natural Aboriginal Native Americans, or just Aboriginal Americans, the true indigenous one. And a lot of us have been knowing this for a while, but we also have been having that necromancy, the spell work, and all that going on and on. Our land was very valuable, man. Very valuable. For those who know the cosmos and started to figure out the cosmos and the science thereof, they started to use that against, the natural people, the natural faithfulness of the land. Put my shoes on and get ready to move around a little bit. Because I got, men forming around me. So we can sit around like, in the place it's like 100 men in one. Anyhow, though, niggas being the #1 narcissistic supply to America, psychologically we could put this in an aspect so we can better understand it very simple. So a narcissist is something who is very low inside, needs validation from external sources to make them feel like there's something big. And so being that niggas are like the most empathic entity that they came across, they kept the nigga pretty close and was able to do the nigga pretty bad. We all see the history. Slap the nigga up, beat him, sodomize him, all the things that you're not really supposed to do. And it's not that you niggas weak to be like, yo, man, to fight back. Niggas have fought back before. But the fact of the matter is we remain more virtuous than just really slaying the enemy, because we have faith in the Creator. And they know this. So when they knew this, a narcissistic energy or entity, they seen that these empaths or I-ones or just this natural born ripened spirits of the Creator is in a land living, in a certain way, happiness and shit. So they need some of this happiness. So they were informed spiritually to come to a land to invade our temples and to possess our oracles. Our priests, our priestess. And we're all naturally priests, but there's levels to the priesthood. So anyhow, though, for us to all get on this same equality level, we have to go over what we're going through now. God responded, that's confirmation. So we jumping in real fast, getting the spirit out the water, the Holy Spirit, the true spirit, not just any spirit, not putting spell work on nobody with any spirit. Because this is how they got into our land and was able to take over our heavens for a time being, at a time when we were very low in our spiritual development. And so that's how they got in. So now we can understand it by putting it on the psychological aspect, like, narcissism, sociopath, borderline, histrionics. These four can be mixed all together. And these were placed on the natural people who are of America, or Tamari, who had a natural empathic ability to feel others and feel their energy, to try to heal them, just do whatever it takes. Damn it, just give up their whole life. So it's you have to be pretty strong to not hurt and kill another motherfucker, because the animal instinct in you will want you to do that. Hey, Anna Pitt, what's happening? I hope I ain't said the name wrong, though. You know what I mean? Kingdom of Heaven. You already know it. It's that hand. The kingdom of heaven is just within inside first. This is how we're going to see it on the outside. So how are we going to cultivate that inner peace? We got to get it. The outer peace is to kind of cultivate the inner peace, to get that happiness going on. And this is how we get on these different resurrections when we rest and produce that DMT molecule in our body to go to the right heaven when our spirit travels. Pardon me. I know this thing is jumping. Peace. So, as far as like, you know, just the dealing with it on a narcissistic level, niggas became their source of supply, their go-to to make America feel good. Never in history have you ever seen a nigga ever carry out any type of political assassination or hit or none of that, you know? I'm talking about a natural American confirmation. That's the Dougie Dub. Is that right? Yeah, sure. And so, for that being said, you know, like to be building on the racism, but that's how it was founded on, and that's how it's going to end. And so, for all this to go and transpire, we have to tap into the custody personality and see why the narcissist is the narcissist in the first place, and why the nigga is the natural supply source for this narcissist. The one that you can come to, kick, abuse, and still keep. But now the nigga's like, yo man, I'm giving up like a woman who's fed up with a relationship, an abusive relationship, whether it's or she or he, vice versa. The narcissist is out within. It's like a predator instinct that they only tapped into in their lower primal being, basically, you know. And we're at a time where we're gonna raise the vibration to be in a godly level. Because we already went through the animal level, and they seen that we went through that. That's why we had so much compassion, so much patience, you know. We basically are innocent people to them, because we didn't do nothing wrong to deserve any of the harsh treatment that they got. And the Bible talks about that. And it's not that, like I say, we were punks. We took this abuse and internalized it within our own self and started harming our own self. Just like in the way when you're in a relationship that's abusive, you may not harm nothing outside you. You may cut yourself with something. You may hurt yourself in a certain way. You know what I mean? Because you may feel a certain way about yourself, like nobody loved me, nobody liked me. Because you probably had someone that was your abuser who knew how to do a smear campaign on you personally. So it's the same way for the people as niggas in America. Where nobody won't believe, like damn, but now they're starting to see because you got, you know, platforms like TikTok and this joint right here, you know what I mean? And so these people are on it and they're revealing a lot of information. And that's a war in itself, because you got different countries that's allowing this information to come out. Because they didn't want the nigga to know how majestic he really was, you know, how the animals is connected to him. Because in history, you've never seen a false prophet ever have an animal. I never seen a false prophet even have a dog, a bird to play with. Maybe one little violin instrument or something. Ones who came in the name thereof and said, we're this, that, and the third. You know, someone who told us to show us to try to cultivate our talents and our gifts and to hone our abilities and study the ancient religions and don't have to become with them, but just study them and you'll find to the now time as we would left traces throughout history around the world. That's why niggas are drawn to different places around the world anyways, where they want to go to Thailand, where they want to go, whatever. Because Thailand was an ancient place where niggas was at. It's deep. It's taught how to have inner peace, you know, awareness, and things of that nature, man. So as niggas went around the world, you know, narcissism developed, jealousy. That was that you basically got a slave that's on the inside, you know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a physical thing here. And by doing that, if you don't handle it now, it's gonna take a longer season to handle it once upon transition. Because Most High made transition real. The best thing to do is align up as best as possible. Some people will be like, I don't know why that happened to him. Well, you gotta understand, the Most High knows. The Most High knows the heart. That's where the all I am is communicating at with each individual. That's why in this cycle, we're all going to cultivate the relationship with the Most High on our own. And this is what we're pushing right now. And by doing this and how to do this, because we always say, but now how to do it is by celibacy, which is basically not releasing beforehand. He has to develop, you know, discipline. The masculine energy, whether it's divine masculine energy or not, physically or spiritually, the divine masculine energy has to develop discipline in this life in order to be able to lead and be able to, you know, continue on. Women have divine masculine energy as well, but as for a man, he has to have it as far as like he has to have that total control, so he can be able to, you know, lead in the right direction, which is straight up ascending, becoming lighter. Hey, sorry about that. What's going on? Aaron plays the games. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it, yo. We're gonna get into the games too, man. I'm gonna jump into the game. We're gonna be building this shit. We're gonna open up the Book of Judgment, and the Book of Judgment says this: as I'm whooping your ass in this. No, I'm just playing with you, but yeah, we can joke around like that. See, that's fun. We're not here trying to cause chaos and confusion and hurt one another and shit, man. We actually want to have a great time, you know. But we're in the time of actual spiritual enlightenment and development, and we will connect in the spiritual Wi-Fi world, you know, while people try to cheat us in this world through the spiritual Wi-Fi, through witches and warlocks, thinking that they're mightier than all I survey and shit, like they're bigger than the Most High type shit. I had witches try to get up with me. I'm like, dude, you think you're bigger than the Most High? She don't give a fuck. She rolled her eyes. This thing like, oh yeah, you don't want this pussy. Like, yeah, nah, I know what's up. I got the energy. But if I was weak, yeah, if I wasn't me, you would have had me. This is years ago. You know what I mean? But then now that True Sabbath is coming up next day, which is solstice, summer solstice, lining up with the sun, with the solar eclipse in Virgo. The moon being in Virgo. Whew. That means you can utilize this energy to end and pinpoint all the little nitpick shit that you want to end by yourself. Get that up out the way. And then use it to foresee the site that you want to use it for. And how you do it is the Kundalini. It's the energy. Thank you, Moses. It's the Kundalini. That's how you can utilize all this stuff that you want to use to make it work. Remember, when you was younger, you can do a lot of things that you wanted to do. That's because you wasn't having sex. You wasn't tapped into the tree. Some was molested. Some had higher Kundalini than others. And, you know, certain uncles and aunts tapped into that, you know, as far as if they were older than them, you know, and learned how to abuse them mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And they kind of grew accustomed to it, or we all, which we're not, we can't exclude, I'm not excluding myself and stuff, you know what I mean, but grew accustomed to life. Some went hellish nigga now, or narcissist. I had a psychopath that was raising me that was narcissist. They didn't give a fuck really about what the hell I was doing, if I was living and breathing type shit. I was like a nuisance on them or something, you know what I mean? And so for spirits who have to go with that, souls have to go through that, those are most likely the ones that the Most High uses to teach later on down the line and to show as an example. You're not showing an example as a mother who starts off rich, you know, unless they starting off rich to go poor to show you how to get back rich again through the spirit. But Most High usually take it from the poverty, from a person who's been at the most poverty level and show the light of the world. That's pretty much how it works. And they're using the nigga as far as like the most, you know, how he's the narcissistic supply in America, and using him as the example in the world, because now the truth is coming out. And it's like, man, niggas they are very intelligent. They did invent a lot of things. You got to thank Uncle for inventing that AC unit that they can transport food around the world. You know what I mean? You got to thank Uncle for that. Them lights and the light switches that you use. You know, it's a lot of things you got to thank Uncle for. It's, you know, and Auntie. You know. They done studied the nigga so hard in America more than any nigga in the world. And so this is how you start, this is when you start seeing, okay, they want to get to your land. The land is how they able to take over everything. Basically, it's how they able to get into the heavens. It's like how they got into the government system. Like you see how they got into the government system, right? Same way how they do when they go to other lands to get into their heavens. Same type of shit. It don't change. Go to world of worlds to do that, but all at the same time, these parasitic entities within this whole little, you know, you can say galaxy or dome or mega dome or whatnot, all their time is coming to an end. So they definitely slowly see it. So the war they're having within is like, you know, it's a crucial thing that's going on, even with America. So you got people that's like, shit, you know, the JFKs and all of that, man. You know, a lot of things going on with JFK. So the JFKs and the RFKs, a lot of murdering things went down. You got to understand. Once that mother seen their father got popped off, both of them. I'm talking about the JFK Jr. seeing his pops, the RFK Jr. You know, these things went down, and so they're like damn near with the shits in their shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, who's gonna rule the nigga next? Y'all find out who's gonna rule that nigga next, man. Who's gonna have it? You know, the Most High basically got his hand over Amaru. It's like, yo, sit back, cultivate that chi within, get in tune with the ancestors, go outside as much as possible. You know, the heavens is definitely under anarchy right now, and order is being established. So all you can do as a mortal is just maintain. You're dealing with a high wicked in high places, wickedness in high places, dog. I'm not gonna stay too long, but I'm gonna stay long enough because I'm gonna be able to pop up like this again. True Sabbath is right around the way. You gotta use these energies now. You're right here anyway. You know, you got the cousin dog, they around over here doing what they do. What's up, big dog? You wanna say hi? Someone say hi? They just happy. Alright, so, with that being said, man, when the narcissist, just gotta leave them alone and let them fight themselves, because that's what they're gonna do. Scared they hurt themselves. Alright? They're gonna hurt themselves. You don't have to deal with another one. All you have to do is just leave a narcissist. And the narcissist is gonna hoover and see what you're doing. They're gonna spy on you, be in the bush, see what the nigga doing. Starting to see you prosper. It seems like you did before, building new towns and cities, but now you're at a different state now. You're at a different level. You're at a different spiritual level. You're starting to see the Most High's hand actually working. And now you can see it and explain it through the cluster B personality disorder complex. So thank the Most High for that. We're gonna give honor and praise to the Most High without us having to need an actual physical king. We're gonna use the Creator as the true king. And that's how we're gonna be getting down, man, in this near future. And by doing that, we got to refine ourselves, discipline. I mean, really with the sex for sure. The food to help us, because if we're eating the wrong foods, it makes us other than our own self, which is basically a righteous God. The body being like Muslim or something that is submissive to the divine intelligence that connects us all, And we know and understand in our heart that we must do the celibacy thing, because it's something that we never done before. That's what's going to connect us even more back to nature. The fear start going away. You're in fear now because we're at a very low level. We're having sex with ourselves, tapping into the light. Fear can come up. I'm not saying you won't be fearful at the other time, but it's not like you won't be fearful. You'll be more alert. You'll be alertful, not fearful. You'll know how to breathe that anxiety that's about to pop up, and you breathe it away. This is all through semen retention. You'll figure out on your own report. No one can be able to tell you at this point. Only just you in that relationship with the Most High Creator, and that's what they gonna hate, man. Because that's like all of the niggas got a relationship. Damn right. But the Most High is the best friend that you got, man. Ain't nothing else. You gotta get the Most High tried. I'm not talking about. You can talk. You say the Jesus and all that stuff, man. But we're not sending no saviors. We're sending the only savior that's coming is through the heart, and that's the Most High Creator. Anything that comes is coming through the will of that. Any external help is coming through the will of that. But we have to first cultivate the heaven that's within first. That's the only thing we can do, because we ain't got no control, we ain't got no army, we ain't got nobody to do shit. We don't even get our food out the ground, man. We don't even got a grocery store. We got niggas who make billions of dollars that could be like, yo, man, here go, take this few, this, that, and the third. Let's make a few chains. I'm gonna get up with 2 chains and then, They allow you to have little shits in the hood, but I'm talking about an actual grocery chain. You ain't even gotta have a Walmart. Now we can go we can order the shit wholesale. Like, niggas that sell dope and shit. Like, I ain't gotta have the same dope dealer. I got a couple of them motherfuckers basically. You know what I mean? And you get, or a weed seller or whatever the fuck you wanna call it. They haven't come together to do that. And we'll naturally go to that. They know that we will naturally go. And that thing is gonna come to play really soon. Because now niggas are pretty much boycotting certain stores, which is very good. And also the women are boycotting nail salons, things of that nature, which is very good, because now they can showcase the artistic skills within. This new generation is a beast, so we have to cultivate that beast and talent, that gift that they got, as the OGs that we are. You know what I'm saying? The ones that we don't look OGs, we kind of look like we with them and shit. And that's when you see that the Most High's hand is on, the chosen people, the light people, the faithers, the ones who got it, that has the right inspiration, connection, to the Creator. That's why you got to cultivate that talent when you're a youngin'. But they'll take it away from you by molesting your energy. They did that to us physically, sodomizing, and made young boys do a lot of shit. And men, try to break spirits. And even to this day, they get you to willingly do it through your cluster B personality traits that you have. Some of us is pathological, but we're dealing with pathological motherfuckers who they can't change, not one bit. So now you have to make the decision if you're gonna still choose to stay in a relationship with this narcissistic, abusive motherfuckers who are gonna do one thing with one hand and cover the other hand. Shit. It's like a confusion-ass relationship. You think things gonna go right, but nobody never granted you no land nowhere. Not even in Africa. If they ask you to come home, like nobody's never said, like, here go, I got the tickets for y'all niggas to come through. But, you know, and even some real motherfuckers that really wanted to get you there, send the ticket too. Like, nigga, come on, I got, that's how bad I want your ass. You go. But nah, at the same time though, you know, nobody granted niggas asylum nowhere. And everywhere you go in the world that you see that there was an ancient culture, you'll see the markings, the pictures, the sculptures. Nobody that's there now in the government was like, will be like, they know that niggas is there, that American nigga is that dude, and goddess, you know, but they don't ever invited them to have an asylum as a form of protection away from their abuser. They just wanted them to sit up under the narcissist like, damn, you see what these motherfuckers is doing? And so shout out, I mean, my condolences to the family in Mississippi, man, because they attacking our people. To that boy that's 19 years old. That's a sad situation because they wanted to do something to hurt the people. That's how I confirm it. Give them the confirmation, man. Because that's like punk shit to do things like that. This is how they build up their false heavenly kingdoms and attack the spirit. That's why I asked for the spirit to be able to save that spirit from going into the hands of the Druids, of the false ones who want to take and harness his spirit upon in the afterlife. But this is how serious it is, man. This is why you gotta cultivate that light within. Because most time, like, yo, man, death can happen, nigga. All this shit I'm talking about can happen. I'm telling the truth, man. Mosai, boy. That's why Mosai said, you know, celibacy is the highest spiritual attainment you can do. It's spoken about in, you know, the Vedic astrology. In the Vedic, but you know, they took it on the esoteric and, you know, physical mortal level. That's what we're doing now. So it just cultivate that you know, that light within for about 14 months and even more. And I'm not saying to get to that point and let it all out. No, you gotta cultivate it continuous on. That's gonna put the example in for the new one. The new niggas, our new niggas, they gonna be off the chain, man. I'm telling you, they gonna take it and run with it. All we gotta do is go ahead and get this repent popping off with the OGs real quick to show that we the one that we're actually doing it. Because we was the first youngins that they put dope in our hand to go do the run up the block to get the $20 and all of that shit. I'm gonna give you $5 of that, you know, whatever. You doing that shit 4 or 5 times a day, you got $200 now. We were the first to learn how to do this shit, you know what I mean? And so we learned how to get out of the game at those times. Now, showing, boy, look at you showing out, man. Showing out, yo. Tell me. Feel it. The spirit is in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So we was the first. And we learned how to make dummies and sell dope and all that stuff like that because we had to, you know, we were psychopaths in a way, selling dope to our people. To the ones who we didn't kind of feel, we didn't feel sorry for because it was the fact that, yo, man, y'all sacrificing the family, you leaving out. We didn't feel sorry for it when we was youngins, you know. But now, as we was able to grow, a lot of us at those seasons didn't grow. They murdered, they was killed. They went to prison at 15 years old, got certified as an adult, you know. I had to be the one to visit all my homies and shit like that. Most I was looking out for it now. Even going through hell to come out, going through those hells to come out right. But we're those type of generations. And some of us grew to be those type of nasty, ignorant ass niggas to be the kingpin of that type of shit. It was like, yo, and just chose that road. Some of us chose the road that we on right now. It's talking about the semen retention and saying like, yo, this is really what we kind of went off at, you know. And now we can lead now as a real true OGs and shit without putting dope in our youngins' hands and shit. Like, yo, I ain't gotta I'm gonna put this dope ass knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So you can go run with it with the supreme equality to show and prove your godhood. You know, most high responding, dude. You know what's up, man. I got the Judas around, the demons around, they all around and listening to the sermon. You know, they got the thuggy duck. But anyhow, the whole thing, I don't mean the sermon in a bad way. So, you know, as far as us, we show this, boom, that repent. As far as like the Israelites, the true Israelites, whoever call themselves the Israelites, who's like, as far as like, I'm an Israelite, like them niggas that's on the corner with the Bible that's talking. I love y'all, example, y'all be hitting them off. Whoever, spread this word to anyone you know. Tell them to repent and go to full celibacy. We need, esoterically or spiritually, we need 50,000 to 72,000 born again virgin men right now on the earth plane, man. It's detrimental to our spiritual development and the destruction of Babylon or the world, you want to call it, and bringing in the kingdom of earth on our earth plane and within our own vessel, because we'll be honorable and virtuous with each other. You're gonna go through a lot. You're gonna go through hell within because you're facing not true I am. Everything that's in everything that's within the gene. Everything that's in your spirit, you gotta move it around because I'm showing you the water and shit. That motherfucker coming up. It's confirmation, but it's not getting all over though. It might, I don't know. Both sides depends. I'm trying to guard the phone. So it'll build the whole truth commandments up, you know what I mean, naturally in our genetics. We'll start to not covet nothing else because we're honoring our gifts that we got from the Creator now. And we're all coming together like that. We're playing our sports again. We're doing, we're having our cookouts. We're doing good recreation and celebrating our ascension. And by accomplishing this is a very high feat to accomplish, especially as a people. You think Moses had a hard time, nigga. Taking 4 million people out of Egypt, and Egypt is in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Taking 4 million niggas, you know what I'm saying, to get them to a certain spot. You know, that was hard. But this right here, we're just trying to get 50,000 to 72,000 born again men that's in that know the book. That know the book, and know the spirits, and believe, and that know that their faith is in their heart to believe, to be born again virgins and repent right now. What's I telling us, man? Look at that. I'm over here, everybody looking at me like this nigga's gonna get smashed. Let me get my bag up. Oh look, that's when most I was really telling the dang on truth. Man, that's what we need right now. Let me get up here one time. Look at that. That's funny. That's the spirit, dude. That's what we need, man. That's confirmation. I don't know what kind of confirmation you need. That's more than a car hunk. This is a daggone, this is elements and shit. And once I get up, it's gonna calm down. But that's, that's supposed to come every few minutes, but that just came sporadically. That's the spirit up in that joint. That relates to what the hell we talking about too. And I'm about to get it moved around. But the thing is though, yeah, so that's what we asked. You gotta tell them to get on that real quick. That's one of the downloads. Once we do that, I had to get out here to get that download back to them. They don't feel, they on the NAGA, they on our life family, G. When we do that, we won't hear nothing else until we do that, B. We get 72,000 from any of those camps, any of those Israel camps. We get to be, I gotta find a script that says we gotta be born again virgins. I know it's in there somewhere. That's the download, I feel it, G, And so, once we do that, our energies will be so strong together, even though we won't be physically together, we'll start magnetizing towards each other because we'll have to be around each other because we're life family and shit. And hence, the kingdom will start building on the earth, as it is in heaven. Because we done already came together in heaven. Now, this is what we already did. So we're doing it. We have to do it now in the flesh. Especially the next couple of years. You got the next couple of years. You got 12 months, 14 months to cultivate that energy, to cultivate the energy. So we can all be up at least at 14, at the 12th chakra, 14th chakra, be outside our bodies and shit. So when you don't have to be just so caught up in the flesh. Okay, I can sit down here a little bit more time, just for a second. I got my fake me out headphones on, so nothing's gonna come up to me. Yeah, here we go. So that's pretty much what it is. I feel I'm gonna get ready to hop up off this joint. Every one of us got caught up in some, as far as like, the false prophets. I ain't gonna say that. They ain't even this false prophets. Them motherfuckers came in and getting wives at 14 years old and shit like that. You know what I mean? That don't make no sense. I don't care if it's half your age plus 5 and they even went even younger. You know what I mean? It's like these women, just because they can have a period don't mean that they don't even have the experience of becoming a full-fledged woman. And I understand that because my daughter, I had to raise a daughter so I could be able to talk about that. I birthed my daughter with my own hands. Once I gave me a knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to have a lotus birth at the rest at home. My first one was in front of the devil so he could see who the fuck he was, and he seen it. And they tried to chase and take the baby. Once I was there, you know what I'm saying? All praises due for show. But with my daughter, I seen that. I knew she was gonna have a period early. I was like, Dad, but she don't care. She knows she's the example. When it comes to this, you know what I mean? I knew she was gonna have a period early because her mom and my mom were the same type. So I had to help cultivate her through that type of energy. Like, they're not grown at that age until they get a little older with it. But they have to learn how to take care of themselves at 8 years old. It's kind of early, you know what I mean? And that was through natural. She learned at 7, 8 years old. She learned to do that naturally, and she developed early. And she's very mature, so you know what I mean. And so, I raised her like, you know what I mean. I got an actual grown-ass daughter and shit, and sons, and I raised other child and shit, reared children, grown men and shit. They knowledgeable. They're not like out there at all. You know what I'm saying? But they hood and they still good. You know what I'm saying? We raise them baby birds, you know, fish at the most and stuff like that. All right, so anyhow though, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off of this. But if you do know Israelite, I know they're doing everything right and exact. Most High, definitely, I honor them. I appreciate them. I'm glad everybody see them and through us and being a good example, you know. This semen retention to show this example for sure, because everybody think that we the lustful and want to bang a chick every night all the time. No, we can look and honor a chick and appreciate it in our mind, and when we say it out loud, that's honorable. Don't mean I'm going to be with you and bang you and keep you forever. No. We're actually healing our cluster B personality. They idolize the devalue and discard. We're just like seeing this thing and acknowledging it. So we want to be like, okay, so y'all think like that? Let's take our whole little power back shit. You know, we got the best divine eye, the best nigga on earth, man. You know what I mean? Loving, basically. The best love on earth, man. Love in general. So we know and understand we got the heart of gold, and the enemy know that we got the heart of gold. We're the most advanced people on earth. And having a heart of gold, you got the most high communicating through your heart. Your heart ain't a pump, it's a vortex. So it's helping you. And your blood is the spirit crystal, all this stuff, man. We charging it up as much as possible, getting in the sun, and we're fasting. This is a very great time to do these things right now, because the solar flares, the high solar maximus, everything's lined up divinely in the heavens that they ain't got no goddamn control over. None. Absolute nothing. So those are how I want us to rejoice and get outside and stay out the way. Stay in hermit mode for the most part, because you'll only magnetize those who A alike, B alike, and C just like you. Almost 500 do it again. That was a light one. But that's the truth, though. You know what I mean? And so, that being said, I love y'all. Always detoxing. You know, don't be so quick to put food in your belly first thing in the rising. You want to keep a clear body. You know, watch out for those parasites. That's how they attack us. You know what I mean? They come with the flies. These motherfuckers come with the flies. You ever seen the movie White Man Turned Into the Fly? That's because the flies comes off that motherfucker. It ain't off of you. They've been around your ass. The flies not even natural. They're not natural. You know, them and roaches too. That's how they've been around niggas and shit. The roaches got around niggas. That's like their spiritual spies and shit. You know, the fly and the roach. Alright, I love y'all. And the fly and the roach is graphic too, from like the beetle and the bee. I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna build with you in the next one. Till then, you already know. Stay up. Peace.